Hare Krishna. What time is it there now in London? 5 o'clock?
6 o'clock,
Six.
Maharaj. Evening 6,
Okay.
6 p.m. Yes.
Oh, Gajahanta. Is that you?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Pranams, yes. It's
Yes. Oh my
it's
goodness.
not really me, but it's a false
Ah,
image of me.
the outer portion of you.
Yes.
You are there. I see you there. I see you there inside also.
Oh, I'm glad.
How are you
Yes.
doing? How are
How
you
do I
doing?
look on the inside? Is it as bad as the outside?
Outer is the expression of the inner.
Oh, I
But
see.
how are you doing?
By Krishna's mercy, I'm doing very well. I have another guest here, but I didn't know how to actually the technology of this Google Meet. But let me see if I can share.
Jai Maharaj, Haribol.
Hare
I came
Krishna.
to your ashram a couple years ago, I think with one other devotee in Princeton,
You came?
Avadut Maharaj. Avadut Maharaj.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah.
Very nice to see you again.
Yeah.
So you are staying there. You are staying there in Florida now.
Yeah, I came here about a week or two ago. We have a farm in Texas where we grow vegetables and distribute prasadam
Oh,
and have cows. We have about a dozen Indian cows.
Sarabis.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Nice to see you.
Yes. How are you feeling? You're okay? Your health is
I'm
good?
good. I'm good, by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya.
Okay. There's a nice weather there.
Beautiful. Yeah, you can come here. You'll love it. It's like tropical paradise.
As long as there's no hurricanes, right?
No,
And it's nice there.
that's the end of summer. We got another 6 months.
Okay. Let's hope it stays nice there. Now, where are you? Are you in Great? Where's that called? Alachua? Alachua.
Alachua is north of here, and I was there a week ago. And I think next week I'm going to Mexico.
Oh, Gainesville, yes. You're in Gainesville, huh? No, Gainesville is north of Alachua.
Yeah, Alachua is very close to Gainesville.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anyhow, Mexico, where are you going in Mexico?
Puerto Vallarta.
Okay. You have some devotees there, temple?
Yeah, we have one devotee who has some land, and his father told him to build an ashram. So I'm going to see if we can, cultivate it and get it going properly.
Okay.
Yeah.
No trouble traveling across the border?
Yeah, if you travel by road, but if you fly, no problem.
Oh, I see. Well, God bless you. You not getting any coronavirus all this time you're traveling.
No, we keep our immune system very strong by taking your Harikatha.
Hare Krishna. Yes. Ayurveda, they have Haritaki. We have Harikatha.
Haritaki and Harikatha, and permaculture and premaculture.
Very good. Very nice. So you're not going to get the vaccination?
Not if I can help it.
Okay.
Not over my dead body.
Yeah, I just heard one lady, she got the vaccine, a Moderna vaccine, and then she came back for her second shot. And after the second shot, she died.
Yeah,
And she
yeah,
was a healthy lady.
yeah. It's an
Uh,
evil witch's brew, you know.
I don't know. Yes.
Anyway, it's a whole, you know, this whole plan to bring us under tyrannical order, you know, to
Who's
kill
the
us, really,
who's
to
the
kill
ty-
us. Yeah.
who's the tyrant now? Biden.
Well, he's one of them. There's many of them.
I see. All
Yeah.
right. They get
So,
rid of one and get another one, huh?
yeah, like Robin's heads.
Hare Krishna. Very nice.
I'm glad to see you're
And
still preaching.
yeah, trying to do something.
Mm.
Thankfully, we still have the internet. I don't have to go traveling so much.
Yeah. You shouldn't travel. You should just be like Sridhara Maharaj, stay in one place and
One place.
broadcast.
Hare Krishna. Hey,
Jai
they
Maharaj,
told
Dandavat
him.
Pranams.
They told him he was. He told him. He told the devotees. He says, "I am like Muhammad." And Muhammad doesn't go to the mountain, but the mountain comes to Muhammad. Hey, remember he said that? Or you don't know? He
Yeah,
told like that one time.
yes. It
Anyhow,
said
what
if
are you going to?
Muhammad won't go to the mountain, then bring the mountain to Muhammad.
Yes, that's something like that.
Yeah.
Muhammad, the mountain has to come there. Anyhow, what to do? You are going over the place, making hotels and doing all kinds of endeavors for preaching. So it's very nice. Nice to see you're so enthusiastic. Uh,
Well, we're enthusiastic, Maharaj, just because we're seeing you.
yeah. Oh, you're seeing so many devotees. Nice. You're seeing you're so happy.
Thank you.
So what are you going to do today?
Well,
Uh,
today we're planning to attend your program, your
uh,
uh,
our sangha.
your sangha, yes.
Oh,
And then I think tomorrow, Jadarani Shamarandi is giving a program, and Maharaj is going to in Boca Raton. So Maharaj is going to attend that also, I think.
oh.
And we may
Boca
also
Raton.
go. Yes, they
So
have a new
they're in
place.
Florida, right?
Correct.
Boca Raton is in Florida. Okay.
Yes, Boca is just north of Fort Lauderdale.
Okay. Yes. All right.
So we may go for that tomorrow afternoon.
Very nice. You're going to drive there?
Yes, it's not so far. About
Okay.
1 hour from us.
Okay. Very nice.
So please forgive me for missing all of you preaching. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I haven't been able to connect until today.
Oh, I'm sure you're been busy all that time
Just wasting
doing your
time.
own preaching. Doing your own preaching.
I'm doing nothing but wasting time.
Hare Krishna. Wasting time for Krishna. I don't know if that's one of his pastimes.
I don't know, Maharaj. I don't.
Dandavat Shanta Maharaj. Do you know Shanta Maharaj?
Dandavad Maharaj.
This is Gajahanta Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavad Gajahanta.
Dandavad Gajanta Prabhu.
I think I'm sending him some propaganda regarding vaccinations. I don't know if he's paying attention or not, but I've been sending some different things in the through Messenger.
Powering on.
Actually, we met him in some Skype sanghas before, long back.
Okay.
Powering off.
In 2000, I think 8, 9.
Powering on.
2008 and 9.
Yeah,
Well,
long back. We met on Skype, but we just communicated in chat. But I'm telling about, we talked in Skype meets with Sripad Puri Maharaj.
uh-huh.
You joined few of those sanghas.
Well, your memory is much better than
You are
mine.
now paired. Enjoy.
Unfortunately, my memory is not so good anymore.
As long as you can remember Krishna, that's enough.
Yes. I'm struggling to remember, but so far I'm not successful. I only get some fleeting memory. Sure.
Dandavat Prabhu, we are very Dandavat Maharaj, Dandavat to all devotees.
And this is
Very happy
also
to see
here
you,
is
Prabhu.
Saraj Prabhu and Uma Devi. This is Gajahanta. He's a Prabhupada disciple of Srila Prabhupada.
Trying,
And he early in the early days he was helping with Srila Damodar Maharaj. He was a very big help to Srila Damodar Maharaj when he would come to America. And he also, our godbrother Jayo Das, he was also accompany Gajahanta, and they would help to raise some money and distribute books for Srila Damodar Maharaj. Jayo, unfortunately, he passed away a couple of years ago, but Gajahanta is still going strong, it looks like.
like a bad penny card, I just keep coming back.
Hare Krishna. Very nice. So, anyone else coming today?
Zana is not coming.
No, not coming. Okay. And you met?
We got Maharaj our appointment booked for COVID test.
Oh, good. Oh, for test, for vaccination?
No, because we don't want to take vaccine at present, but for traveling they need certificate. So we were thinking to go to hospital, but somehow we found out airlines have a facility that they come to the home and they take the sample and they give the
really?
result.
I
So
see.
that way it was very helpful.
Okay.
Otherwise you have to stand in queue with all these patients. Will be a very difficult task actually.
Yeah, well, it's good. I mean, you don't want to go on a plane with anybody that's infected,
Yes.
because it's an enclosed environment, and you have to share the air with everybody in there, and it carried by the air, that COVID is carried by the air.
Yes.
So I have to make sure everyone is safe. That's good.
Only Calcutta has this rule. Other airports don't have it.
I see. Oh, that's
If
very good.
If also other states they are coming from Odisha and Gujarat, they don't need it. Only from Karnataka, Andhra, and Maharashtra, like that, few states only, 4-5 states
I
they
see.
kept it like that.
I see. Oh, that's very nice. I think it's gives you a feeling of safety, at least.
Yes.
Anyhow, they're going to vaccinate everyone here in America by May 1st.
Everybody.
Everybody is going to get the vaccine on May 1st. And then once everyone has the vaccine, they can start moving together. So if you want to come, you may have to get the vaccine.
Oh,
I may have to get it also.
okay.
So who is saying this, Maharaj? Who is saying that this vaccine is mandatory?
Let's see, on Thursday night, then Biden gave a talk, first talk to the nation since he became president. And he told like that. He said, by May 1st, the vaccine will be available to everyone. And by July 4th, people can begin to meet again in small groups. So he has a whole program. If all the vaccines are produced, he wants that Johnson and Johnson to produce 100 million vaccines. And
Is it a good one, Maharaj? Johnson and Johnson?
Johnson and Johnson is a big company, and they're going to get some help from Merck, another big company. And together they're going to make 100 million vaccines ready for May 1st for everyone. So,
It has
anyhow.
a good report, Maharaj, Johnson and Johnson.
Oh, yes, yes.
That
And
vaccine.
you only need one shot for that.
Oh.
I heard that the Catholics don't want to take that vaccine because it is made from the fetus, and so they were refusing to take that.
Oh.
That would be a mortal sin if you take the fetus from the fetus.
Is it true, Maharaj?
I don't know. That's what they said. They were ultimately may have been developed like that, but the one that you get in your arm, that is not from that. That is from the what has been produced after that was used for testing or producing the original one. Then the other ones are manufactured from there.
Oh, and the Johnson and Johnson, where they are giving that injection?
In the arm.
In the arm. Okay. In the arm. Okay. Other one also in the arm they are giving in India.
Yeah, they give in the arm. Kanapriya, did he? Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranams Maharaj. Hey Krishna, how are you?
I'm good. You look happy.
I'm happy. Always happy when you're Sangha Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
She organized a nice program today with one devotee, Nanda Priya from Kathmandu, preparing pickle from potato, fresh pickle.
I know. It is Krishna Keshava told me. I said pickled potato. That's
It's
unusual.
not really like
How do you
pickle,
make a
Maharaj.
pickled potato?
No, it's not really like pickle. I don't know why they call it pickle because there's no vinegar. You think of pickle and you think of vinegar, but it's
right.
actually
All
just
the sour things they call pickle there.
yeah. So it's got lemon juice in it.
Oh,
That's all. So it's just boiled potato with like, then you mix with chopped cucumber and peas and some fried green chilies and sesame seed powder and just mixed up
I see.
coriander and lemon juice. So it actually looks really nice. It's actually it's not what
The
it
varieties of that fresh pickle they prepare, Maharaj, in Nepal.
yeah.
Okay. Doesn't sound very good, but anyhow.
I know, but it's
when
actually
eating,
really nice. It looks really
when
nice.
eating, when eating, the main factor is taste, right? If it tastes good, then okay.
Yeah.
They have a simple food. It's nice actually. They take less spices.
So then Krishna told me that you also made some fun collection on your birthday on Facebook.
It was funny, Maharaj. Yeah, I don't normally do these things, but Facebook suggested, hey, why don't you do a fundraiser? And when I looked at the, I thought, oh, there'll never be. I don't know how to do like something related to, our mission. And you were there, so I thought, wow, let's
Well,
do that.
that was very nice. And happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Thanks, Maharaj.
That was very nice.
It was yesterday, birthday?
The 10th, Maharaj, which was Wednesday. Wednesday.
So did you raise any money?
Yes,
Okay.
I think £90.
Oh, wow.
Few people actually.
Oh, my goodness.
Normally. So yeah.
Evil.
There you go.
Prabhupada's blessings and all the Acharyan blessings for you.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you.
So, Rasaraj Prabhu, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Any word from Kusham?
On Cushion, she called me, but I didn't hear the phone, but she left a message.
Okay.
She said I was not feeling well, and today was going for IV again. She said I have a lot of vomiting and nauseous, and it's not feeling well. But he said that probably tomorrow will call me again. I don't try to call her because sometimes she's not feeling
I know,
to
yes.
talk, or so I try to avoid that. But it looks like it's not
She
feeling
sent
so
some
well.
message to me.
Huh?
She sent some message to me that she sent some donation for Acharya Maharaj. 200 US dollars she sent. And I've informed Acharya Maharaj. And Maharaj told that he will check and inform me back.
Okay. So, Rasaraj Prabhu, would you like to begin Kirtan?
Well, if you ask me, Maharaj, I will do it.
Oh, Prabhu. You are too kind. What? I always hate to ask you for any service, but you have the most very good ability to chant by Krishna's grace.
Well, I don't know that, but
Yes.
Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya
Jaya
Jaya Sri
Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu
Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi
Srivasadi
Gaura
Bhakta
Bhakta
Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya
Jaya
Sri
Krishna
Krishna
Chaitanya
Chaitanya
Prabhu
Prabhu
Nityananda
Nityananda
Shri Advaita Gadadhar
Gadadhar
Srivasadi
Srivasadi
Gaura
Gaura
Bhakta Vrinda
Bhakta
Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya
Jai
Shri Krishna
Chaitanya
Chaitanya
Prabhu
Prabhu
Nityananda
Nityananda Sri
Advaita
Advaita
Gadadha Shivasadi
Srivasadi
Gaura
Gaura
Bhakta
Bhaktavinda.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama Rama
Rama
Rama
Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Haribo, Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna, Hare
Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama, Hare
Hare Rama
Rama,
Rama
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 Rama,
Hare
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 Hare.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Nitai
Nitai
Gaur
Gaur
Hari
Hari
Bo
Bo,
Hari
Hari
Bo
Bo, Hari
Hari
Bo,
Bo
Hari Bo.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Nitai
Nitai
Gaur
Gaur
Hari
Hari Bo,
Hari
Hari
Bo
Bo, Hari
Hari Bol,
Bo,
Nitai
Hari
Hari
Bo.
Bo
Hari Bol.
Jaya Jaya Guru Dev, Guru Dev, Guru Dev, Jaya Jaya Guru Dev.
Jaya
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 Guru
Gurudev,
Gurudev
Guru
Gurudev,
Guru
Gurudev
Jaya Jaya
Jaya
Guru
Gurudev
Jaya Jaya Guru Dev, Guru Dev, Guru Dev, Jaya Jaya Guru Dev.
Jaya
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 Gurudev
Gurudev,
Gurudev
Gurudev, Gurudev, Jaya
Gurudev
Jaya
Jaya
Gurudev.
Gurudev
Jai Gaura Premanande, Hari 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 Hari.
Hari Bol.
Hero
Jai Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila Acharya Dev Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai
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 Giri Govardhana Ki Jai.
Jai
Jai.
Jai
Jai
Samaveda Bhaktavinda Ki Jai.
Jai
Jai.
Jai
All Premanandi Hari Hari Hari.
Hari
Bol.
Hare
Hari
Hare
Hari
Bol.
Hari Bol.
Glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Jai Santa Maharaj, Rasaraj Prabhu, Uma Devi, Kanupriya, Krishna Kesara Prabhu, Gajahanta Prabhu, Avadut Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai
Jai.
जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजक गुरुशिला भक्ति माधव पुरी महाराज की जय.
Jai.
Jai.
Is Avadut Maharaj is also there from
Avadut from? Yes, there.
Dandavat Maharaj.
Do you
Dandavat
know?
Manas.
Do you know?
I know him. He wrote some mails in our Sadhu-Sanga group, right? I think he visited also your center once.
Yes, he came with some devotees when he was staying in New York. Very nice. And they did kirtan. Nagar Kirtan in Princeton University.
Yes.
So is the university open today, or they are?
No, I think they have stopped the classes because of the virus.
I
So
think
far
he
I
came
know.
with Bhagavad Maharaj.
No.
He's in
No?
Houston.
Another time Bhagavad Maharaj came by himself.
Oh.
But now I think that Princeton
They don't,
they don't have
they
any
don't have any
classes.
class.
It's online.
Huh?
They're happening online.
What's happening?
Classes still go on, but it's virtual. Like
Oh, they have virtual classes. Like most universities. I think they learned from the other universities. They opened too soon, and the virus began to spread very much. So they decided to hold all classes online now. It was too difficult to get everyone together, and this virus was spreading more and more. And they changed their tactic. Maharaj, Abhidut Maharaj, do you have a bhajan that you like to sing? We're singing from this pocket kirtan guide of the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math. Excuse me. Okay.
Sharir. Have that one?
Which one? What? Could you hear what he said?
Goranga Bolite Habe?
Ranga Bolite, what page is that?
It may not be there, I think.
I think it's there.
Yeah. Generally, it's not there in the pocket.
Yes, 113. 113. Goranga Boliti Habi. 113, Maharaj.
Goranga Bolite Habe. Puraka Sharira. Hari Hari Bolite Na. Yani Babini.
Goranga
Bolite
Puraka Sharira. Hari Hari
Hari Bolite
Jayane
Mira Ara Kabe Nitai Chanda Karuna De Shankara Vasanna Mori Kabe Tuchabe
Karuna
Vishaya Charya Kade should have mana
Vishaya Chadiya Kobe
Vishaya Charya Kade should have mana Kade Mama He Rabo
Vishaya
Sutta Premana कबे हम हे
Vrindavana Rupara Gunata Pare Hoireya Kuti Kabe Hama Buja Boshe Yugala Piriti
कबे हम बुझा बसे
Rupa Raghunatha Pare Rahumara Asha
रूप रघुनाथ पदे रहु मोर आशा
Ratana Karaye Sada Narothamadasa Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Hare
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 Hare Rama
Hare Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Hare Hare
Rama Rama,
Hare Rama
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Rama 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 Hare Hare Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe
Radhe Govinda
Hare
Hare Radhe
Govinda Govinda Jaya Govinda Govinda Hare Jaya Haribo 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 Nitya Gaura Haribo
Nitya Gaura
Hari
Haribo,
Jai Gaura
Haribo, Haribo,
Haribo No Prananani Haribo
Hri Hari. Jai.
Haribo
And Oma Devi, would you like to chant?
Yasomati Nandana Maharaj.
Oh, that would be very nice. Thank you. Page 16, huh? Okay.
There's a little delay in sound.
But yeah, I can sing again.
Yes.
Yasomati Nandana Rajavara Nagara Gokula Ranjana Kana
Yasomati
Yasomatena Rajabaranagara Gokulara
Gopi Paranadana Madana Manohara Kaliya Damana Vidana
Gopi
Madana Manohara
Amala Harinam Hamiya Vilasa Vipana Purandara Navanagaravara Om Shivadana Suvasa
Vipina Purandara Srivadana Subhasa
Rajajana Palana Hasurakula Nasana Nanda Godana Rakuyala
Rajajana
Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara Sundara Nanda Gopala
Govinda
Yamuna Tatachara Gopi Vasanahara Rasa Rasika Krupa Maya Nirada Vallabha Vrindavana Natavara Bhakti Vinoda Hasraya Yasomati Nandana Rajavara Nagara Gokula Ranjana Kana
Yasomati
Gopi Paranadana Madana Manohara Kaliya Damana Vidana
Very nice. And then Santa Maharaj, which bhajan would you like to sing?
Maybe Gurudev's Kirtan Maharaj.
Okay, which one?
Sri Guru Charana Padma.
Okay.
The page number
54.
54.
Sri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma
Sri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma
Bandamui Savadhana Mate
Bando Muis Mate
যাহার প্রসাদে ভাই এ ভবতরিয়া যাই
Yahara Prasade Bhai He Baba Toriya
কৃষ্ণ প্রাপ্তি হয় যাহা হইতে
Krishna Prabhi
Bhakti Yoga
Hoite
গুরু মুখ পদ্ম বাক্য চিত্তে করিয়া ঐক্য
Guru
Guru
Mukha
Mukha
Guru Mukha
Padmavakya
Padmavakya
Chitte Koriya
Koriya
আর না করিহ মনে আশা
Arana
Aranakariya Manaka
শ্রী গুরু চরণে রতি এই সেই উত্তম গতি
Sri
Sri
Guru
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 Charanirati
Charanirati
Aise Uttamagati
যে প্রসাদে পুরে সর্ব আশা
Prasade Pure Sarva Asha
চক্ষু দান দিলা যেই জন্মে জন্মে প্রভু সেই
Chakshudana
Chakshudana Janme
Janme Janme
Prabhu Se
দিব্য জ্ঞান হৃদয় প্রকাশিত
Divya
Hriday Prakashita
প্রেম ভক্তি যাহা হইতে অবিদ্যা বিনাশ যাতে
Prema Bhaktiya
Hoite Avidya
Vidya
Vinashayate
বেদে গায় যাহার চরিত
Vedagaya Charita
শ্রী গুরু করুণা সিন্ধু অধম জনার বন্ধু
Shri Guru
Karuna Sindhu Adama Janhara Bandhu
লোকনাথ লোকের জীবন
Lokana Lokera Jivana
আহা প্রভু কর দয়া দেহ মোরে পদ ছায়া
Aha Prabhu Korodaya Deha More Padachaya
এ অধম লইল শরণ
Rama Loya Sarana
আমি শরণ নিলাম
Ami Sharani
অভয় শ্রীপাদ পদ্মে শরণ নিলাম
Abheshi
দয়া কর হে
Daya Korohe
পতিত পাবন শ্রী গুরুদেব দয়া কর হে
Pati
Daya
Korohe
অধম পতিত জেনে দয়া কর হে
Adama Patita
Daya Korohe
জয় গুরুদেব জয় গুরুদেব গুরুদেব জয় গুরুদেব
Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva
জয় গুরুদেব জয় গুরুদেব গুরুদেব জয় গুরুদেব
Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya
Gurudeva,
Gurudeva, Jaya
Gurudeva,
Gurudeva. Haribo. Thank you. And Paresh, welcome. Hare Krishna. Would you
Hare
like to?
Krishna.
Would you
Good
like
to
to
see
read the
everyone.
English?
I'm
Yes,
sorry,
you're
was
welcome.
that?
Would you like to read the English?
Oh, sure, of
This
course.
song. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I carefully offer my obeisance to Sri Guru's lotus feet, which are the sole abode of devotion. O brother, by his mercy we cross over this world and reach Krishna. May the teachings from Sri Guru's lotus mouth one with your heart, and do not desire anything else within your heart. Attachment to Sri Guru's feet is the best path. By his mercy, all desires are fulfilled. He who gave me the gift of eyes is my Lord, birth after birth. He manifested divine knowledge in my heart. He gives prima bhakti and destroys ignorance. The Vedas sing of his character. Sri Guru is an ocean of mercy and the friend of the fallen. He is the Lord and the life of all people. O Master, be merciful. Give me the shade of your feet. This fallen soul has taken shelter of you. I have taken shelter at your lotus feet, where there is no fear. Please be merciful to me. O Sri Guru Dev, savior of the fallen, please be merciful to me. Understanding that I am lowly and fallen, be merciful to me. All glory to you, Sri Guru Dev.
God. Narottam Das Thakur. That's a
Yes.
beautiful song. Full of realization, realized knowledge. Then Kanupriya Didi,
Dandavats Maharaj.
which one do you want to? If you like.
Can sing the next one, maybe, or
Yes.
one for Nitai. Which would you prefer?
As you like.
Maybe we'll sing the next one.
Okay.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Toya Kora More
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Gora More
Toma Vena Ketalayo Jagata Machare
Toma Vina Ketaya Jagata Bajare
Patita Pavana Hetu Tavaravatara
Patita Pavana Hetu Tava Avatara
Mosama Patita Prabhu Naipai Vehara
Mosama Prabhu Napai Behara
Aha Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Shuki
Mahaprabhu Nanda Imananda Suki
Kripa Valokana Karo Ame Patatuki
Ami
Daya Kara Sita Pati Advaita Koshani
Daya Kora Sitapati Advaita Goswami
Tava kripa bole pahai Chaitanya nitai
Tava Kripa Chaitanya Nitai
Gora prema maya tanu Kandit kathatara
Gora Prema
Srinivasa Hari Tasa Dayara Sagara
Srinivasa Haridasa Dayarasagara
Aswarupsana Paragunata
Anavana
Pata Juga Shiti Maha Prabhu Lokanata
Bhatayuga Shri Prabhu Lokanata
Daya Karo Shriya Charya Prabhu Srinivasa
Daya Prabhu Srinivasa
Ramachandra Shanga Mangi Narottama Dasa
Ramachandra
Daya Karo Prabhupada Shikara Prakasa
Daya Sigora Prakasha
Tava Jana Kripa Magi Ayatamadasa
Tava Jana
Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya
Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada
Haribo.
And Krishna Kesava. Which one do you want? You have a question? What? That's huh? No, that is put by the devotees. My Sridhar Maharaj. Page 55.
60.
Oh, 65. Okay. Nitai Pada Kamala. Huh?
Nitai Pada Kamala Koti Chandra Sushitala
Ye chaya jagata judaya
Nitai
Nitai
pada
Padma
kamala
Koti
Koti
Chandra
chandra
Shitala
shritala
Jechaya
Jaya
Jagat
Jagata
Judaya
Judai Sorry.
Hinani tai vine bai Radha Krishna poite nai Dridha kari dhara nitayara paya
Hello
Nitai Vineva Radha Krishna Paina
Rakari
Hari Dharanitai Rapai
Se sambandha nahi yara Vrita janma gila tara Se pashu bhada durachara
Sambandana Yara
Janma
Tara
Sei Pasu
Pada Durachara
Nitai na balila mukhe Majila samsara sukhe Vidya kule ki kari betara
Nitai
Naina Balila Mukhe
Majila
Majila
samsara
Samsara
shuke
Sukhe
Jakule
Vidya
Vyakule
ki
Kikari
Ahankare mata haina Nitai pada pasariya Asatyere satyakari mani
Ahankari
Ahankari
mataina
Mataina
Nitai pada
Nitai
parashriya
Parashariya
Asakare
Satyakari
Satyakormani
Nitayer karuna habe Vraje radha krishna pabe Dhara nitayer charandu kani
Nitaya Karuna Have Raje Radha Krishna Pave Dharnitaye Charandukani
Nitayer charana satya Tanhara sevaka nitya Nitai pada sadakara asa
Nitai
Nitaya
Charana
Charana
Satya
Satya
Tanhara
Tanhara
Sevakara
Sevakanitya
Nitya
Narotama Bharaduki Nitai More Karashuki Rakaranga Charanera Pasa
Narotama
Bharaduki
Bharaduki
Nitai
Nitai
Moro
More
Shuki
Karasuki
Rakaranga
Rakaranga
Charanira
Charanirapasa
Jaya Jaya Nitai Daya Nitai Daya Nitai Jaya Daya Nitai
Jaya
Jaya Nitai Jaya
Jaya Nitai Jaya Jaya Nitai
Rivo.
Nitai
Then Rasaraj Prabhu,
Yes, Maharaj.
would you like to sing one bhajan.
Yes, sure, Maharaj. Page 63.
53.
Did you say 63 or 53?
63.
63.
Ibara karuna karo.
Uh-huh.
Ibara karuna karo Vaishnava gosa. Sorry. Ibara karuna karo Vaishnava gosai.
Ibara karuna karo Vaishnava gosai.
Patita pavana toma vine kehanai.
Patita
Pavana
Pavana
Rama Vinekehana
Kahara nikate gele papa dure jaya.
Kaharani Kade
Ani Papadoreya
Emona dayala Prabhu ke bakota paya.
Emanadayala Prabhu Kebakotapaya
Gangara parasa hoile paschate pavana.
Gangara Hoile Vashteva
Darshane pavitra karo etomara punam.
Darshana Pavitra Karo Etomara
Haryastane aparathe tare harinama.
Haristane Aparati Hare Harina
Tomastane aparathe nahi kaedana.
Tomastane
Aparati Nahi Kaeda
तुम्हारा हृदय सदा गोविंद विश्राम.
Tumhara
Hridaya Sada
Govinda
Govinda Vishrama
गोविंदा कहे नामा वैष्णवा पराना.
Govinda
Govinda Kahina Mama Vaishnava Parana
Prati jamme kori asam charanera duli.
Pratija Kori Yasa Charane
Narota me koro doya apnara bali. Ebara karuna koro Vaishnava Gosai.
Evara karuna kore Vaishnava Gosai.
Patita pavana toma vine kehanai.
Patita pavana tuma vinika henai.
Jaya Vaishnava Thakur, Vaishnava Thakur, Vaishnava Thakur, Jaya Vaishnava Thakur.
Jaya Vaishnava Thakur, Vaishnava Thakur, Vaishnava Thakur, Vaishnava Thakur.
Jaya Sri Narottam Das Thakur ki jai.
All right, page, Vandana, page 38. Vandeham
Shri Guru Shri
Padakamalam
Shri Gurun
Guru
Vaishnavamcha Rupam Sagrajatam
Sagana Raghunatham Ram Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya
Devam
Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Devashakanvitam Om
Timirandasya
Vyananjana Salakaya
Salakaya
Chakshurun
Militam Jena
Tasmai Shri
Maitri Gurave Namaha
Puja Shri Guru Vargavandita
Vargavanditam
Mahabhava
Vitaya
Vandhyaya Sada
Sada
Purva Parya
Parampara Prachalita
Prachalita Pragya Murta
Murtate
Bhakti Nirmala
Nirmalanirharasya
Nibritam Samrakshakam
Sarakakam Sadaram
Vande Shri Guru Devam Ananta Shira Acharyam
Varyanyam
Gaurva Bhista Sapurakam
Supurakam
Guru Ganaya Ashisha Sambhushitam
Sambhushitam
Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda
Samasta Veda
Nipunam
Nipunam
Shirupa Padananugam Govindabdidam Ujvalam
Jalambarat
Bharatanam Bhaktanvitam Sundaram Vande Vishwaguru Divya Bhagavad Vimno Hipicha
Pradam
Devam Divyatanam
Divyatanam Suchandavadanam
Alarka Chelan Shitam
Chitam
Sandrananda Puram
Nanda Puram Sadekavarnam
Vairagya Vidya
Buddhim Siddhantanidhim
Nitam
Subhadbhagafitam
Saraswatanam Baram
Saraswatanam Param
Vanditam
Vanditam
Subhadam
Subhadam Madhikasaram
Dekasharam
Yasishwaram
Sridharam Sridharam
Sri Siddhanta
Siddhanta
Saraswati Vidito
Saraswati
Gauriya
Vidito
Gaurvardhani
Gaudriya Guruam Bhaje
Bhatto Banuvira
Bhatto Banuya
Bhattacharya
Pravate
Bhattacharya
Gadane
Yogora Sankirtana
Gora
Gora
Sankirtane
Sankirtanai
Mayavada Timigalo
Yavara
Dharamadaram
Timigalaram
Uditya Jivaniman
Ditya
Jivaniman
Jivanimam
Krishna Prema
Krishna Prema
Sukadhigana
Sudadhigana Sukam
Pradhat Prabhum
Tadat
Tam
Prabhu Tam
Bhaje
Bhaje
Namo Gaur
Namo
Kishoraya
Gaura
Raya
Kesharaya
Bhaktavaduta
Bhagavata
Bhakta
Murtaye
Murtaye
Gorangri
Sri
Padmam
Gorangiri
Brindaya
Padmanabhiraya
Padmanabhrindaja
Radha Baba
Baba
Nishevane
Nisevine
Vande Bhakti
Vande Bhakti
Vinodam
Vinodam
Gaura Shakti
Shakti
Sarupakam
Sarupakam
Swarupakam
Bhakti
Sri
Shashadhya
Bhakti
Shastra
Shastrarya
Radham
Chandrayam
Radharasa Sudha
Rasa
Sudhanidhim
Sudanidhim
Gaurvaja Sita
Gauravajati
Sheshaya
Sesai
Vaishnavaya Vande
Vaishnavaya Viraham
Jagannatha Prabhum
Prabhum
Bande
Bande
Premabdim Redhavais
Vaishnavam
Vaishnavam
Panchakalpa Tarubhyascha
Kalpatarubhyascha
Asidnubhyevacha
Vasidnuyaivacha
Patitanam
Patitanam
Pavanebhyo
Pavanebhyo
Vishnavebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
Namo
Vaishnavebhyo
Namo
Namo
Namaha.
Namaha
Panchatatvatmakam Krishnam
Krishna
Krishnam
Bhaktarupa
Rupa
Swarupa
Bhaktarupa
Sarupakam
Sarupakam
Bhaktavatar
Bhaktavatartam Bhaktatyam
Namami Bhakta
Mami
Shaktika
Bhakta Shatikam
Namo
Namo
Mahavarnaya
Mahavarajaya
Krishna Prema
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 Pradayate
Pradayate
Krishnaya Krishna
Naya Krishna
Naya
Chaitanya
Name
Chaitanya
Garati
Gaura Tise
Jaya Tam
Namaha
Surato Pango
Surato Pango
Amamanda Matirgati
Mamamandam Matargati
Vatsarvasva
Sarvatra
Sarvatra
Pradam
Pradyo
Radhamadana Mohanam
Ramadana Mohano
Divya
Brindaranya Kalpadrumara
Vrindaranyakata Srimad Ranagara
Ranagara
Singhasanasto
Simhasana
Shri
Stavu
Gandharva Shri Govinda
Gandharva
Devo
Sila
Govinda
Govinda
Devo
Devo
Salivi Sevyamana
Salivi
Sevyamanusharam
Sevyamanusaramani
Shriman Rasa
Manrata
Rasamrami
Rasaramni
Sivata Tata Savita
Tata Tata Sita
Arshadvinu Swadera
Samvenu
Gauri
Swanerutir
Gopinata Vrindayai Tulosi Devai
Dayai
Jayai
Tulasi
Kesava
Devyai
Shivacha
Jayai
Krishna Bhakti
Kesavasya
Pradipati
Cha
Krishna
Bhakti
Bhakti
Pradipati Bhakti Namo Namaha
Uttarattva Manta
Tanatra
Guru
Mantra Guru
Bhagavata Tadan
Gurun Bhagavatartadam
Yasachagat Guru
Yasam Jagat Guru Tva
Stojayam
Tato Yayiraje
Jai Sapadika Shri Shri Guru
Saparika Shri Guru
Bhagavata
Gauranga
Guranga
Ganga
Bhagavata
Bhagavinda
Bhagavatinda
Sundara
Pada
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 Brahmana
Manam Jastu
Jayastu
Shri Krishna
Shri
Chaitanya
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 Prabhu
Nityananda
Prabhu
Nityananda
Shri
Nityananda
Advaita
Shri
Sri
Gadadhara
Advaita
Adhara
Srivasati
Srivasadi
Gauravari
Bhakti
Bhatta
Gauri
Vrinda
Gauravartinda
Bhakti
Hare Krishna Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna
Hare Krishna
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 Hare
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 Hare Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama Hare
Rama
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 Hare
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 Jai
Hare
Srila Prabhupada Srila Guru Maharaj Srila Gurudev Srila Acharya Dev Ki Jai
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 Govardhana Ki Jai
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 Premanandi
Hare
Jai
Hare 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 Bo
Hari
Samaveda Bhakti Ki Jai
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 Hari Bo Dithai Gaur Hari Bo
Bo.
Haribo.
Okay So the Sri Prapanna Jivanamrita. This is the book by Srila Bhakti Rakshak Goswami Maharaj. The book on surrender. Prapanna Jivanamrita, the nectar and the life of the surrendered soul.
What is the page number, Maharaj, we are in?
Okay, I'm going to see that now.
66.
66, number
And
18.
the verse is the 18. Yes.
On the bottom of the page. Huh? Is that right?
Verse 18.
Then, Santa Maharaj, would you like to read the Sanskrit and the English translation?
Brahma sukhagra pratikula eva tvat sakshat karna halad visuddha bhihi stitasya me sukhani gospadayante brahmanya api jagat guru Sri Praladasya. Eagerness to attain to the bliss of Brahman must be known as unfavorable to devotion. O Guru of the universe, now that I can directly behold your divine form, I reside within the ocean of pure ecstasy, and all other pleasures, including the bliss of merging with Brahman, appears as insignificant as the water in a cow's hoof print. Sri Prahlad.
So, what do you say? Why is Brahman unfavorable to devotion?
Because Maharaj, it is passive hostility towards absolute. As you were reading from Bhakti Vinod Thakur's Bhagavatarka, I think Marchimala, there they have explained it is like our very nature is to serve Lord, but when we are going against that and trying to exploit, and that active hostility leads to some reaction, then as a counter to that, we want to stop our activities, which is against again our real nature as servant of Lord. So thus, both are either active way or passive way. They are that is hostile attitude towards the absolute. So I think that's not what for we are being created. Our purpose we are not serving.
Anything else, Rasaraj, or anyone would like to add?
Well, Maharaj, I was reading the translation of the verse, and Prahlad Maharaj said that actually the Brahman is like a pleasure. It's a pleasure to merge into Brahman, but it's like insignificant. But when Srila Guru Maharaj gave it his own meaning, he said that even it's not even it's a small, it's unfavorable to devotion. It's like practically had to be rejected. That is like a beyond what Prahalad said, no, like it's insignificant, but actually it's like a try to avoid that bliss or that pleasure.
It's sort of like enjoying the pleasure of Brahman without doing any service. It's a pleasure that doesn't involve service, right?
Yes.
Like a man or a woman sitting in samadhi. Don't bother me. I'm enjoying the highest thing. I'm seeing the light. I'm getting goosebumps. Then what? You're sitting there, huh? Enjoying all these things. So what? Right? Where's the service? Where's the love?
Maharaj Sridhar Bharaj explained it as a expectation on the subtle plane.
Enjoying, huh? Enjoying the subtle energy. Of course, it's not quite enjoying in the mundane sense. Not pleasure in the mundane sense. To get to the Brahman platform, one has to surrender. Even that might require some surrender. Not sense pleasure, mental pleasure of some type. And then the example of the Kumars, 4 Kumar brothers. They were absorbed in Brahman. Do you know that? The 4 Kumars. You know them? Kumar brothers? Sanat Kumar. What is their name? Sanatan.
Sanatan, Sunandan, Sanandan.
They are absorbed in Brahman realization. You know, they didn't want to take an adult form of life. They didn't want to become adult. Because adults get into too many nefarious things. Babies, they don't have any much relationship with anyone. They're only absorbed their own bodies and their own lives, their own self. So they like to remain as babies. So this way they would have to worry about getting into so many adult relationships, adult responsibilities. This is the Brahman, Mayavadi kind of realization, what they look for. Baby life. Innocence. Don't do anything that would create some difficulty for your mind. But what happened to them? Do you know what happened to them? The Kumars? Anyone remember?
Yeah, they smelled the tulsi leaf on the feet of Lord Vishnu, and they were attracted.
They smelled the leaf, huh?
Yeah, tulsi leaves.
They smelled the tulsi leaf. No, they were detached from so many things. Everything, basically. And yet, when they smelled the tulsi leaf on the feet of, offered to the feet of Vishnu, they could not resist it. Oh, this smells so nice. And they got directed in that way to the arena of devotion. Just from smelling the tulsi leaf, they got directed to some type of devotional life. Why? Because it was something connecting with Krishna. And previously, they had known only Brahman. But because that was a very purified state as well, It's free. You can't, just as I said, you can't come to the plane of Brahman without surrender and giving up the sense activities. There you can find Brahman, Brahmabhuta Prasanatma. There you can find that divine pleasure of not being tormented by any sense activities. Even there, how is it that their senses drove them out of that state to the higher transcendental level? Generally, the Brahman realized souls, they're not attracted to the senses. But when the senses are detecting something connecting with Krishna, with Krishna's service, Krishna's devotion, that kind of sense, that stimulation, it goes to the higher direction, not to the lower.
Maharaj,
Yes.
Maharaj, can I ask a question? Would there need some element of Sukriti also?
No, most certainly, even to come to the Brahman level,
Yes.
requires
I was
great
just thinking
purity,
in terms of
great mercy.
yes.
What? What's the rest of your question?
No, I was just thinking because I know when we've read before where he talks about going to Brahman, but then without proper realization, one returns back and back through the processes, all the different life forms. So how then? So that's why I was wondering, asking about how then at that stage did they get the opportunity to, or the mercy to be attracted to a higher platform.
Yes. Well, they're to touch the platform, Brahman, is to touch the platform. And according to what we associate with. As we said, the Brahman platform is just kind of a neutral relationship. Actually, the Kavars are considered Shantarasa of some type. Depending on what we come in contact with or associate with. Some generally the Mayavad or that type of realization, Brahman realization, they get bored. The soul is meant to be active, meant to be constructed to be the servant of Krishna. His constitution is to serve. So if he's sitting there in Brahman and not serving, then he wants to do something. He won't sit there for long. He'll have to, if he comes back with a memory of the material life, he may come back as a philanthropist or some type of good person. But the point is, if he becomes somehow or other in contact with the other side of the Tatastha line, is the connection with Krishna and his activities. If that connection comes to him, then he somehow will go in that direction.
So are you saying, Maharaj, that there's variegatedness even in Brahman, within Brahman?
There's variegatedness that we are in Brahman, and Brahman has two sides, the side of Krishna and the side of Maya. They're both there for us to come in touch with. We are coming in contact. I don't think Brahman can come in contact with that, but we are coming. So we can come in touch with somehow or other, but that is the Sukriti, where we come in touch with something that is of the higher nature. Who's that? Come in contact with the higher nature, somehow or other. There is Futur. Who? There is our good fortune coming into play. And we can become attracted to that if we have a kind of that purity of heart that makes us attracted to devotional life. heart has that kind of purity where the devotional element is attractive to us, then we can go toward that side. So everything depends on association. What you are in contact with. That good fortune that brings you in contact with the spiritual activities, that tracks us there if we have the proper sukriti.
Maharaj,
Yeah.
here
Yes.
Prahlad Maharaj also expressing some kind of santaros when he says that I can directly behold your divine form.
Mm.
So he's comparing with the some kind of mere like a happiness by vision.
Yes, he doesn't think to serve.
So I think Prahlad is also explained as santaros because
Yeah.
Smarane Prahlad, he always remembers, and maybe he has this attraction for seeing.
But he's Shuddha Bhakta,
Yes, Maharaj.
pure
Maharaj,
devotee.
how when devotee
But he
loves
also,
Krishna.
1 minute, he is also in a child form. Huh? We think of
Yes.
Prahlad as a child. So again, this maturity of the age is an important quality. Huh? The thing is difficult to understand because at a certain age, the gopis are also small children, huh? That to express their innocence. But
That's
at
what
a
I was
certain
also
age,
thinking, Maharaj.
yeah. But the baby or a very young child, we have to think they don't have much qualification to do what to engage in many relationships. So uh, difficult to understand how Pilate was also is understood in the younger form, although later he became king and all those things. But his kind of what did you call it? Childlike relationship with Krishna did not allow him to understand the more, did not give him the qualification to engage in the higher relationship with Krishna. Something like that. It's meant to indicate. Of course, it means in the more youthful stages or premature stages of devotion. It refers to that. In premature stages of devotion, we may not be able to understand the higher relationships with the Lord. Be more childlike, where child is dependent upon the uh, person, the more superior person to take care of them, and the baby is not doing so much for the higher relationship, superior person, something like that. Excuse me.
Maharaj, I was thinking that Krishna as the child and devotees taking care like parent is consider more active kind of relationship.
Yeah,
Then the devotee is like a child and having Krishna as like the
protector.
father or like a protector. That is coming as santaros. But in the case of like manjaris, they're also not so like grown up. So how that difference comes from Prahlad's case to there.
I think in the case of the gopis, their young, youthful nature is considered innocence, to be interpreted as innocence. Whereas in the case of Prahlad, it's a matter of maturity. So we can look at that in either an innocent form or an immature form of relationship. In the case of the gopis, they are very so innocent, pure, that they can engage in the intimate pastimes of Radha and Krishna without thinking anything, without having any personal interest, just wanting to be there and to add to their pleasure. In the case of Prahlad, he would be shocked at the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. I think he would not be able to relate to that, right? We have to see the consciousness that it represents, what they are trying to present in those pastimes to us, those pastimes. What's that?
I was thinking that also the difference between Vaikuntha and Vrindavan is there. So an adolescent form for Prahlad in Vaikuntha, because he's there with Nrsingadev, so it's Narayan in Vaikuntha, then maybe some lack of desire to serve is there, but they're still remembering Krishna, like Shanta Maharaj is saying. But in Vrindavan, you're automatically serving Krishna when you're in Vrindavan. Even the grass and the leaves are all serving Krishna in Vrindavan. The adolescent forms there are automatically serving Krishna and Radharani just because of being in Vrindavan.
Anyhow, yes, something like that. These, of course, are very high topics. So how much do we know about that? Well, we try to understand as best we can. And different, what they represent. There's different levels of conscious development, the evolution of consciousness, and where in the evolution of consciousness these different types of descriptions are meant to point us.
Maharaj, Prahlad
Yes.
Maharaj, he got somehow great revolution in his devotion. I mean, he becomes Shiva's Thakur, where Sankirtan Ras happened in Mahaprabhu's pastime.
Interesting, huh?
Yes, Maharaj. I was always thinking, how Prahlad, and also we somewhere seen that Prahlad Maharaj also participated in Jagannath Rath Yatra. So we don't know how he got into this highest plane from there.
Krishna's energies. They accompany him wherever he appears. With Mahaprabhu, there's great mercy. His mercy is so munificent, huh? His beneficent nature, even Prahlad Maharaj is given an exalted place, and his associates. Krishna loves Prahlad very much. Because of his great faith, he's rewarded, and even in his most munificent mode of existence, mode of being, as Srinivas. So why
also,
again? Yes.
Also, Maharaj, in Navadip, all the tirthas and all the lokas, everything it accommodates Navadip.
Okay.
So and somehow all devotees getting some highest thing is there.
Yes. Very nice, huh? So,
I was surprised, Maharaj,
yes.
when I was reading this Navadip Dham Mahatma also. I was
Yes.
surprised that how the different result happens about Shiva in Kasi. He does one thing, but the same Shiva does in opposite in Navadip. He gives liberation in Kashi, who dies in Kashi, but he gives Krishna Prem in Navadip. Somebody dies in his Khetra as Harihara Khetra. So the results are completely,
Huh.
different. like
And,
like liberation and devotion.
that's why devotee, how he sees is, um, may see something very, in one instance, may see something very degradable, derogatory, but then devotee has the ability to see the higher aspect also. Uh, it doesn't find fault in others, but he sees the higher significance of their existence. So we don't know, you know. Like I said, in the different in the different moods of the Lord, everyone may have a higher position in Mahaprabhu's estimation.
That is the only hope, Maharaj, for
Uh,
fallen souls, like uh, like in ourselves, Maharaj. Otherwise there is, seems to be, no other hope.
that's like Drughaya and Madhaya. Nityananda thought they were okay. So, so what? They're throwing pot at me and having their game. They want to play with us in that way. Actually, they are good persons. They were Brahmins, actually, I think, in their actual original position. But then somehow or other they got into some other position just so they could have that pastime. And I remember once Sridhara was talking about that Judas, Judas in the life of Jesus, he was the one who betrayed him in the Garden of Gethsemane, and Judas gave Christ a kiss, and he had planned that with the Roman guards that whoever I kiss, that person will be the guilty one. Uh, and so he went to the garden there and he kissed Jesus, and the guards then took Jesus and persecuted him as some type of traitor. And then when Jesus was walking with the cross on his back and walking up the hill to get crucified, he saw Judas on the way, and he looked at him, Judas, and Sridhara explained the way he looked at Judas was like, "Oh, you are such a great soul. Uh, you have sacrificed. You are going to sacrifice your fame, your whole life, your fame. After you die, your fame will be you'll be infamous. No one will think very highly of you, and you have sacrificed your fame for me. Uh, I am going to be praised and glorified, but you are going to be criticized. Then you have taken this great punishment upon yourself just to engage in for my glorification, that I may be glorified and you may be condemned." And he looked at him like that. And Judas thought when he looked at him like that, "Oh my goodness, how I have uh, 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 implicated, betrayed this great personality who has so much regard and love for me. Even after what I did to him, he still is praising me, still glorifying me. And he thought, I can't stand to live anymore with such a thing that I have done. And he went and committed suicide. Huh? I have betrayed such a magnificent soul, one who loved me so much, so deeply, that even the most cruel thing that I could have done, he has forgiven and seen it in a very high way. He could not bear to tolerate such a feeling. That was Srila Maharaja's interpretation. I never heard that before until he said that. How what you see things is very different.
Even
And
Maharaj, you have told about Indra also like that. Sridhar Maharaj thought when
yes,
he inundated Brindavan, then Krishna was not actually thinking like he will punish Indra or something like that, but he has a loving mood towards Indra, that he wants to remove the bad things from his heart.
anyhow, so then why is Brahman realization unfavorable to devotion? What do we
That is because Maharaj, that is taking us away from our real position as constitutionally we supposed to be servants, uh, because there means we are stopping the negative aspect, but we don't have the development of the positive aspect.
I kind of like cheating, Yes, you can practice spiritual life, do this, meditate, and so forth, and get to Brahman. I like cheating them. That's not your goal. You want spiritual life, and people are giving that to them, and they're cheating them. Spiritual life is not about that kind of what do you want to call stupor, stupor, becoming almost stupid like that in a empty-headed way. Huh? Empty-headed way. No engagement of the senses, of the mind, and all the qualities that Krishna has given to the living entity. They can't be utilized in any way in Brahman. So you are getting that as a gift of spiritual life. That is actually misleading. And so many people like that are misled. Even today, we know people think that is real spiritual life. Even Mahaprabhu, it was dancing and chanting and singing and so forth. And the Mayavans were saying, Mahaprabhu, you are not to do those things. Those things are not for a sannyasi to do. You must sit quietly and meditate. What is this chanting and dancing? Never. A sannyasi never does that kind of thing. And therefore, fallen people who don't know anything about spiritual life. No. So Mahaprabhu even was criticized for not being a Brahman devotee. Anyhow.
Maharaj, Sridhar Maharaj told something like God commits suicide, that Brahma Surya Mukti, he compared something like that.
What is this again?
When the Jiva is going towards Brahma Surya Mukti, merging into Brahman, so Sridhar Maharaj described it as God committing suicide.
It's like a spiritual suicide.
Who is going to Brahman? When Krishna is going to Brahman?
When Jiva is,
Jiva. Why is it
towards, that Brahma
it's God
Mukti.
suicide. Why is it God suicide? I don't understand.
I also not knowing, Maharaj. Once Srila Govinda Maharaj told that to Santa Maharaj, Bhakti Kumud Santa Maharaj, and he was also angry at him. Then I think then he told that Guru Maharaj told like that about.
Why God suicide?
I don't know, Maharaj. How that comes
No, no,
out.
no, no.
Actually, Srila Govinda Maharaj wanted to test one of the God brothers, Srila Guru Maharaj, and he asked, it is possible that Krishna can commit suicide?
Oh.
And then they were talking between them. He said, that is not a good question. But he said, okay, I understand that, but still, it is possible that Krishna commits suicide. And then we're talking between them, and they came back and say, I don't have an answer for that question. Say, I know, and Srila Govinda Maharaj say, I know the answer, but I want to see if you know the answer for that. He say, I don't know. He say, can you please explain? He say, when in the Brahman, Krishna commits suicide because it's no personality there. Everything is impersonal. So any person that try to go to that Brahman is like trying to commit a spiritual suicide. They try to remove the personality and merge into like a light. And that's what the Srila Govinda Maharaj was explaining.
I see. All right. So when Krishna manifests his Brahman effulgence, then he is actually manifesting his suicide. Is it?
It's no personalities,
Yeah.
no pastime, no lila, no form,
Yeah.
no qualities.
Yeah.
It's like voidness.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense. Do you understand, Santa Maharaj?
Yes, Maharaj. This that suicide thing. I was little, what you can say, not able to understand because Krishna is committing suicide means, I felt how that is happening.
How he does that. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Raj Prabhu. Would you like to read the next verse, Raj Prabhu?
Yes, Maharaj.
19.
Number 19. Mukti isprihaya pratikulyam bhava banda shide tasmai ispraya mi namuktaye bhavantrabur ahamdasa iti jatra vilupyate Sri Hanumataha. The aspiration for liberation is particularly unfavorable. I have no aspiration for that liberation which is meant to sever material bondage and in which the relationship you are the master and I servant is completely lost. Sri Hanuman.
All right. So, what is that? What do you have to say about that? Anything?
Well, that's what we were talking before. In that Brahman is the individual jiva try to merge with the supreme in the impersonal way. So there is no master, there is no servant, there is no qualities. Everything is one. So there is no relationship there. It's just a merge. And I remember.
What is that noise?
Srila Guru Maharaj also.
The banging is coming from Kanupriya.
Sorry, Maharaj.
Oh, okay.
Rolling to patties.
You're building something there.
I'm rolling to patties, Maharaj.
Oh, rolling to patties. Eddie.
Srila Guru Maharaj also explained that when a green parrot go to a forest like a full of trees, if we see from far, it looks like the parrot merged in the forest. But if we see closer, you will see that everything is individual inside. The parrot and the trees and everything is separate. So they say that actually this Brahman is like a merge like they have no individuality, but actually is completely the opposite of for devotion. It had to be avoided. There is no relationship there. Just like they say that when a person have a lot of pain and the doctor cannot find a cure, sometimes what they do is to put some anesthesia and make the person be unconscious until they get some way that they can cure the disease. But doesn't mean that he's cured. It's just that he's not feeling anything. So you say that is the same as the Brahma Yoti. It's not like we are not suffering, but we are not enjoying either. It's just kind of like a dreamless sleep. Nothing, just exist.
Can I ask? Yeah. Can I ask a question? What you mentioned about, that I think Maharaj has mentioned before about that idea about that, the merging of the oneness, or the understanding that, the green parrot in the tree, that actually everything is still individual. So, on that platform, is there still individuality, but just the concept of merging? So they're not actually merging, but they're actually still individual.
Rasaraj?
Oh, it's me. Well, actually, the concept is merging, and the person looks like it's no individual, but actually, they say that the person will fall again, eventually will fall again in the material world. That means that the individuality still exists, but there is no consciousness of that.
Yes,
there is no consciousness of that. It looks like everything is one. But they explain that position can be for a long time. But you say eventually, when the person have a desire to enjoy, they will come back to the material world. So that means that the individuality is not disappearing, but we don't have it. We don't perceive that. We don't have that individuality. That's what it looks like. Maybe Maharaj can explain better that part.
I'm thinking, if someone's saying it's all one, then, Prabhupada used to say, then give me your bank account. You're not losing anything. Anyhow, here in this verse, he's talking about liberation, huh? If the aspiring for liberation is particularly unfavorable. Brahman is unfavorable, no doubt, as we said, as we talked. But liberation, the desire for liberation, is particularly unfavorable. Why is that? What is it about liberation? This is now different from merging in Brahman. It is about liberation. What is the meaning of liberation? What are you trying to be liberated from? Yes.
Maharaj, here I think most of the attention is to go out of the reactionary plane, or getting some relief. That is the aspiration. But actually, devotee don't want to go out of even that reactionary plane if that is not the desire of Krishna. Like Bhaktivinoda Thakur also said, Nija karma doshe Nija karma guna doshe je janma pai janme janme jano tava nama guna gai. Means by my guna and karma, whatever birth I may get, I have no problem with that. But in all births, I only aspire to serve you and chant your name happily. That is the only thing that I aspire. So devotee don't want to go out of the reactionary plane just to satisfy one's own desire.
Okay. So liberation means to become free from the reaction of your actions. The way, how do you become free from the reactions to your actions? Huh? What is the way?
Is there a certain amount of renunciation there, Maharaj?
Basically, it's renunciation. Don't act. You want to become free from your actions? Don't act.
Retirement, Maharaj.
That's the liberation mentality. How to get free from my painful reactions of my actions. Then there's the whole mentality. Why is that unfavorable to devotion? Gajahanda Prabhu, if you want to participate, you can also.
Well, I'm just remembering Srila Prabhupada said, would you rather be sugar or would you rather taste sugar? So the sugar molecule or the sugar grain in the bowl of sugar has no, there's no activity and there's no interaction, but it's just being its elemental self. So as the elemental self, it's non-different than the other grains of sugar, but there's no experience. There's no actual interaction with those other grains of sugar. So the taste, rasa, when that one grain of sugar touches the tongue, then immediately one experiences sweetness, madhurya. So madhurya is the highest ras. Madhurya is the highest ras, and that madhurya can only be experienced in a relationship. So that's my humble understanding.
All right, very good. But now the question is, why is liberation? What liberation means, try to get free from something, no? Trying to get free from something, why is that unfavorable to devotion? Yes. What is your say?
Devotion is about positive engagement with the devotees, serving the devotees. So if all our effort is being directed to stopping all action, then that's just the opposite direction from where you want to go.
Yes. So becoming free from something, I remember reading one time that what you try to run away from stays with you.
Is it saying what you resist persists?
Yes, very good, huh? You're trying to stop something, and that something is always there that you're trying to flee from that. And like carrying on a string, carried on your leg or back on your belt. Some string is there and the can is there, and you're trying to get away from the can. But if your action is solely concentrated on getting away from that can, then you're always attached to it. So this getting free from something is actually an attachment. Attachment to that which you are trying to flee from. That's not going to work. The more you try, the more your life is centered around fleeing, the more you're attached. That won't work.
Maharaj?
Yes?
So then would we make a distinction between negative renunciation, like which takes you away from bhakti, or positive renunciation where you're unattached to it, you're renounced from it in the sense where whether you have something or you don't have something, it's the same. Like what Mahaprabhu says.
What's that?
Whether you beat me or you love me, I'm always yours. So no matter what is going on, it doesn't matter. I'm still a servant of Krishna, of the devotee.
Of course, that's very nice. They call, you know what Yukta Vairagya means? Yukta Vairagya. Yukta means like yoga, attached. Attachment and Vairagya, it means renunciation, to give up. How you can be Yukta Vairagya, how you can be attached and renounce at the same time. That's what Mahaprabhu was teaching. What is that? Can you understand? Therese? Do you know the meaning of attachment and renunciation at the same time?
I guess I don't.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj,
Huh?
can
Yes.
we say it? Can we say it same as Anya Vilasita, Sunyo?
Yes, that's another idea. But the thing is, this I like this. If they give the baby has something in his hand, baby is holding something in his hand, and you're thinking, oh, this is not good. Baby will get hurt with this thing.
Mhm.
Then how do you get that thing from his hand? You try to pull it. You ever see the
No,
baby? You
give
can't
him
pull it,
something
right?
more attractive.
So, yes, you have to give him a piece of candy, something he will like, and immediately he will drop that. That's Yukta
Mhm.
Vairagya. Yeah? Attachment and
Ah,
renunciation
now
at the
I
same
get
time.
it.
Now you get it. Then what is the meaning? Okay. And the meaning is that your senses are not to be stopped. Senses are attached to everything, you know? Can someone ask you to stop seeing, stop hearing, stop tasting, stop smelling? No. Stop feeling. You can't stop. You may try. The yogis try that. Huh? That's called seeking liberation from those sense objects. They're trying in that way, but they can't do it. But our solution is this: don't stop. Huh? Try to get the higher thing. Here, take some prasad. You want to taste? Taste some prasad. You want to see? See the deity, the beautiful form of the Lord in the temple. You want to hear something? Hear about Krishna. You want to talk something? Talk something about Krishna. Huh? Don't stop the thing. You can't do it, but direct it toward the other thing. Don't exploit the world, but use the world in the service of the Lord. See everything: the flower, the beautiful flowers, the wonderful different foods. Use them in the service of the Lord. Hmm? You want to associate with people, associate with the devotees in devotional activities. Huh? Don't do it in some exploitive way. What you see in the world, don't take it as you are the Lord and Master of it. Huh? See that it is already there, the property of Krishna. Ishvasya Vidam Sarvam. All belongs to him, all is controlled by him. Don't try to take control of it for yourself. That is Yukta Vairagya. Yukta Vairagya. Do the higher thing, immediately the lower thing. I remember we used to call it in the days of Prabhupada the higher taste, huh? The higher taste. It means the prasadam. Don't take the lower thing. Huh? The hot dog and the hamburger and the french fries, all those things. Don't eat that. Huh? Take whatever is there. Don't offer me because Krishna doesn't like that. You offer what is nice, what Krishna likes, and automatically you'll find that taste is much higher and give up the lower thing. Gajahanta, do you remember Rupanuga Prabhu?
Yes, a little bit, Maharaj. I didn't have much, interaction.
Association. Anyhow, one time he told me a story. He said when he was he was one of Prabhupada's first disciples, actually. Came in the 60s, at the end of the 60s, he came disciple of Prabhupada. And he told me after a couple of years with Prabhupada, he wanted to see if he was actually making progress in spiritual life. So he told me he went to the bar and he ordered beer. He wanted to see if he still had a taste for the beer. And he took it and he didn't like it. They I must be really making some progress in detachment. So this higher taste, we will acquire a higher taste, and automatically the lower taste will be given up. That is the idea. Don't renounce. Dedicate your whatever you have, yourself entirely, your heart, all of yourself, all of your senses to the service of Krishna. Then you will be giving up attachment to the other things automatically. And if that comes automatically, then you know you are doing it properly. You know your life is becoming properly situated. That is a real. It is a real thing. They're not just theoretical. They're very practical. We can practically see our life transform and progress in our spiritual uh, uh, existence. So that is not liberation.
With regards to this suicide, that the merging into Brahman being spiritual suicide, actually the idea is that in suicide, one doesn't cease to exist, but the senses are still present, only one can't satisfy the senses. So it's very similar to the Mayavadi when he merges into Brahman. Because it's not complete realization, he doesn't realize his siddha dehi. He doesn't actually realize who he is. So the spiritual senses are there, and in Brahman they can't be satisfied because you're just I am. That's you're existing as I am eternal, I am eternal, I am eternal, but you're not recognizing the nature of the siddha dehi, the spiritual body. So the spiritual body has senses, but they're purified senses and they're meant to serve Krishna. So he doesn't experience that pleasure, that rasa, and therefore he falls back down. So in suicide, one wants to stop all pain, one wants to finish material existence. It's almost a physical desire for nirvishesha, for non-existence. But when the person commits suicide, the realization is that I still exist, I still have senses, but you can't satisfy them. Therefore, many times in Eastern cultures, they offer cigarettes and alcohol, on the altar for someone who's committed suicide, or they put it in the tree or out in the forest or somewhere for the Buddhas, because they have those desires, but they can't perform those activities. So therefore, the Mayavadi who merges into Brahman, he has sat, he has the sat realization that he's eternal, but he doesn't have chit and ananda. And ananda comes from ras, the siddha dehi, the spiritual body serving Krishna in a relationship. Isn't it? Is that right?
Yes. So one has to cultivate that body, that spiritual body, by utilizing the senses in the service of Krishna. And then those spiritual senses will develop a relationship with the Lord. And then we will experience the taste of devotional service, of devotional life, of the service world. The service world. We belong to
within the siddha dehi,
the service world.
all three aspects of the jiva, of the jivatma, sat-cit-ananda, are all present. Whereas they're only, sat is in impersonal Brahman. In Paramatma realization, there's sat and chit, but only in complete ras, when one has one siddha dehi and one is engaged in service to Krishna in a particular ras, does he have all three qualities of the soul, which are sat, chit, and ananda.
Yes. You know everything.
Not
Very
everything
nice.
much, but I'm learning from you.
That's enough.
But I'm learning from you.
So, dedication and liberation, two opposite directions. Liberation, running from something. Dedication, giving yourself to something. Understand? Liberation is in the opposite direction. It's dedication is in the positive. Negative and So you want to go in a positive and progressive dedication,
So one could
devotion.
say that both aspects are there because we want to liberate ourselves from material attraction, and at the same time we want to engage in spiritual service.
Yeah.
So therefore we have the regulative principles which are meant to keep our senses under control, but at the same time we engage those senses and purify them by the process of bhakti, devotional service.
Exactly. Yeah. But we find also, just like eating meat, many of us are raised in that process of meat eating from early childhood. And how will we give that up? How are people able to do that in Krishna consciousness so easily? Well, easily means it's not difficult because it's like the devotees develop prasadam, a taste for halava, raskul, and immediately the taste for other things doesn't even occur to them. So it's like automatic. You become interested in service of Krishna, and automatically the other interests are left behind. Uh, isn't it? We don't have to renounce in that sense. You automatically renounce. Higher taste comes, finished. We don't want anything else.
No struggle.
No need to. Yes, go for those things. So it's a very nice process. Like your Prabhupada used to say, chant and be happy. Finished. Huh? Chant and be happy. No middle ground. Not that you have to do anything else. Purify yourself. Just chant and be happy. The name itself is Krishna. Immediately you chant, you're in connection with the highest thing. And then no question of giving up any lower thing you already have past that. So devotees, what is that? Mukti is like the servant of bhakti. Yeah. When you have engaged in bhakti, mukti comes and offers her obeisance to you. So you don't have to worry about mukti. Already you're higher than that.
Maharaj,
1 minute, 1 minute. What's that? Krishna Keshava?
What does Srila Govinda Maharaj say about mukti, and bhakti? He says something about
What are you thinking?
we're talking about the relationship and expectation, renunciation, dedication.
What did Govind Maharaj say?
Yeah,
Your question is like that?
yeah.
Oh. Well, I'm sure he says whatever the scriptures say. Bhakti Vinod Thakur also. Bhakti Mukti Spriya Yavat. What is that verse? Shanta Maharaj, you know? Bhakti
Maharaj,
Mukti.
that one, Spriha Javat. That I forgot actually.
Okay. And one verse.
Another is that Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kami Sakali Asanta. There is another one.
Yeah.
Krishna Bhakta Niskamatev Santa. That is one there. But another one, Rupa Goswami. This also Rupa Goswami, he got instruction from Mahaprabhu. But another one is there that you are saying.
So all these things, even yoga, siddhas, all these things, Bhakti Vinod explained, these things are all bhog. He described it as bhoga. Huh? Bhog? You know the meaning? Bhog? It was enjoyment without has no connection with Krishna, simply sense enjoyment. Even what is that? Tapasya. Huh? Even tapasya is bhoga. You have no connection with Krishna. So bhukti means enjoyment of the senses. Bhukti, mukti, liberation from the senses. Yoga, and tapasya. Siddhi, even yogic perfections. All that is bhog. These are all bhog. You want to eat bhog? And you're eating food that's not offered to Krishna. You're eating these things, enjoying these things, pursuing these things, relishing these things is all bhog. Only bhakti is the real essence of our life. There we can find real satisfaction, real enjoyment. What's that?
I have posted that sloka, Maharaj.
Oh, read it, read it.
Bhukti mukti spriya javat pisachi hridi vartate tavad bhakti sukha yastra katam abhyudayo bhavet. So long as the desires for mundane enjoyment and liberation, which are like two witches, remain in the heart, how can the ecstasy of devotion manifest there? It is from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Maharaj.
Right. What?
So, please excuse me, Maharaj. I have to see up my guest here.
Yes.
Maharaj is leaving now, so I have
Okay.
to attend to him. But thank you very much for tolerating my bad behavior, and I hope that I can attend again some another time.
Thank you, Prabhu. My dandavats to you and to Maharaj.
Right.
Dandavats.
Maharaj, we were reading from this Navadip Dham Mahatmya, and there's in one place, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Bhukti Mukti, they are coming to the devotee, but they are kicking on their face, and yet they are running behind devotee like maid servant of bhakti. That's amazing.
Yes, that's what I was saying. Their maidservant is like we don't have to pay special attention to mukti. Freedom from unwanted things, that will come automatically. When we become attracted to the positive, the negative would automatically become will go missing. I remember when I first went to the temple in Washington, D.C. I think I told you. For a long time, I was wanting to be a vegetarian before I went to the temple. And somehow or other, I never was able to get to that point. In fact, I wanted to be a fruitarian. I only wanted to eat fruit. But anyhow, that's why I have diabetes today, I guess. Anyhow, I went to the temple, and they gave me some banana milk and halva. And I remember when I took the banana milk, it was hot, warm banana milk. Very nice. They used to make it with some bananas and sugar and milk. And I remember when I took that banana milk, I felt like the sun was shining out from my ribs. and I felt so wonderful. And that from that day forward, I never ate any meat. I never ate any meat anymore. Okay? So somehow, all those years of trying, it's in one simple swallow, one simple gulp, finished. All that was finished. It was quite amazing. I stopped all those bad things happening, smoking and all that. I think I was doing that at the time also. I gave all that up immediately. All right. How are those chapatis coming?
Very nice, Maharaj. All finished. You can all come round now.
Now you can offer them to Krishna.
Just offering now, Maharaj.
So, all right. Anything else? All right. Krishna Kesava, your question was answered.
Maharaj, you need anything from Navadip, some tilak or dress or anything, Maharaj, that we can send? Books.
Send me the dust of your lotus feet, then I'll be very happy. I could use it for tilak to mark my head. All right, I think we'll stop now. My Dandavats, Shanta Maharaj,
Dandavats Maharaj.
Asaraj, Trace. Umadevi, Haribo.
She came back to house now. Jai Bhakti Yoga Puri Maharaj ki jai.
Ki jai.
Dandavad.
Dandavad.